Welcome to your guide on how to ace your appraisal for 2024. Before we get started, just remember that appraisals are vital for everybody's development. Everybody should be getting this time with their manager, and appraisals should always ideally be done face to face. This is a great opportunity for you to discuss your achievements, your performance, your objectives and goals, your future growth and your development, of course, the GC values, and it's just overall a brilliant chance to summarise the year that you've had to get recognition and praise for the great work that you've done. We want to provide you with lots of support. So if you're new to appraisals or simply like a refresher, when you check the PDF guide that we will give you, in there will be clickable links to how to have a brilliant appraisal for an individual, how to deliver a brilliant appraisal for managers, or simply how to grow and develop at ground control, and that one is for everybody. We'll also support you with video learning. You'll know this because you're watching a video right now, and this will be hosted on YouTube and also in our GC learning platform. So let's get started. If you're a team member and you're about to do an appraisal, what are the things you need to do? Let's look at team member tasks. The very first thing that you will do is you'll receive an email from the system, Bob, telling you, go to Bob to start your appraisal. As you can see there in the red circle, it's asking you to click the link to join. You click the link and it's going to take you over to the Bob homepage. That looks a little like this. Now this one's mine, yours will be personalised to you. And you can see there in the red circle again, it's telling me I've had something assigned to me. I need to fill and submit a performance review. So if I click that, the very next thing it does is just helps me to check that I'm doing my review and no one else's. So you can see in the top left the green button that says my performance. That's highlighted because I'm doing my own review. That's really useful. The next thing to look at is the start button in the red circle there. Click that button and that takes you to the next screen. The next screen gives you a quick opportunity once again to check that you are doing your own review. You can see there it's me, and then just have a read here of where the text is next to the yellow arrow. This is helping you just before you begin the appraisal process. Now with any appraisal, you need to give yourself a rating. So let's have a quick look at the rating scale. The rating scale has 4 sections. Does not meet expectations, meets most expectations, meets all expectations, or exceeds expectations. What you'll need to do is have a look in the guide that we provide you, and you'll be able to read through the different explanations there that you can see on the screen. That's helping you know which one you need to choose. If you are brand new into our business, you most likely won't have been asked to do an appraisal. If you are in a new role, or perhaps you've come back from maternity, you will be asked to do an appraisal, and you will also do goal setting. So, moving on, once you are back in the system, it tells you the very first questions that it's going to ask you. So it's going to say, rate yourself against your objectives there. And as we just saw on the previous screen, you will then choose the rating that you think matches you. Either I did not meet expectation, I met most of them, I met all of them, or I exceeded them using the 1, 2, 3, or 4. Once you've completed that, you'll move on and answer the next question, which is about how did you deliver in your role using exactly the same scoring mechanism again. Once you've done that and you're happy with it, move on, and you'll see that this time we're asking you to tell us the things that you've been most proud of. This is an opportunity for you to get sentimental and show us the things that have meant something to you. It's a brilliant opportunity to tell us all the good stuff you've been doing. After that, we'll ask you to give us a couple of examples. So tell us how your own performance has contributed to business success this year. And you'll have a text box there which you can type into. When you've done that and you're happy with it, move forward through the process, and you'll see this time it's asking you to talk about our values. Once again, it's asking you the question, how well have you demonstrated our values while delivering your objectives and your role? You'll use the scoring mechanism, 1 to 4 again, and then what we'll ask you to do is give us some examples of how you've done that. And you can use the text box underneath to type your answers. Once more, when you've finished, you move on, and you'll see that it now asks you a question about your growth. And it asks you when you feel you'll be ready for a new challenge in your current role, or perhaps another role at ground control. You've got 4 options. I'm happy in my current role. I'd like to see my current role expand. I'm actively looking for a new challenge, or I would consider a new challenge. So choose the one that's right for you and then move forward. You'll see here that we're asking you to tell us about what development activities you've engaged in over the last 12 months and what impact, if any, that had on your performance. An example here could be that you completed a qualification and it made you more efficient. It could be that you've attended one of the GCE develop or manage programs, or you've been on a leadership program. It may be as simple as you've completed a ticket and you are now more able to do your job or qualified than you were before. Importantly, we also want to focus on this for you next year as well. So the next question asks you what development you're going to do or would you like to do in the next 12 months. Now, we appreciate that not everybody will know the answers to this or what's available. So whilst this doesn't live within inside the system, you'll be able to see in the guide that we've sent you that there is a clickable link here highlighted in yellow, and that will take you to the GC University prospectus. You can click through this guide and you'll be able to see what development is available for you so that you're giving really good, relevant answers in that last question. So flipping back, once you've done that, you're almost done. So what we ask you to do at this stage is save as draft. And there's a reason for that, because we're going to get you to do goals next, and goals live in a different place on Bob. So let's talk about goals. These are the goals for the next financial year. They basically mean the same thing as they did in Perform and Grow and in appraisals. It's the same topic. You need to have about 3 to 5 goals, and these are going to be the big things that you work on over the next 12 months. Always check with your manager before completing these. This helps you to make sure that they align with your department goals and the company goals. Our company goals are gearing for growth, driving performance and efficiency, connecting with customers, and embracing technology and innovation. If you're not sure which of your goals matches those, in the guide we send you, there'll be a clickable link for you to watch a quick video to help you explain each one so that you're better able to match it. So, looking at goals in particular, we always want you to use the SMART principle. This is to help you make sure that your goal is easier for you to create and also to review. And that means we would like you to make sure that the goal is specific, that it's measurable, that it's attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And for those of you that need a bit of a refresher on that, what we will also do is inside the guide I've referenced, there will be a clickable link for you to watch a video on how to make a goal SMART. Please bear in mind, you don't need to always use it for every step. Try and tailor it to the goal in question. But when you use this, it makes you easier, more able to see that you've achieved your goal and think it through before you put it into your appraisal. Right, racing back, where would you find your goals? So if we're right back at that first page, we haven't submitted, we've pressed save as draft. You look over to the left of the page and you'll see goals are just here. So you click on goals and you're going to get to this page. It says there's no goals yet, so click on new goal. There it is. Click again. And what you will see now is it wants to know the title. So what is the goal that you've set yourself? And it will also ask you to tell us a little bit more about it, a description to help us understand what it is you are going to achieve. Moving forward, we'll then ask you to tell us a bit about the time frame. When are you going to achieve it? Is it a goal just for you, or is it a shared goal with other people? And then we'll ask you to talk about the key results. So what will we see when that goal has been achieved? And finally, we'll ask you to align it to one of the 4 company goals that we talked about on a previous page. Once you have done this, you are almost done. You can press submit, and that sends it directly over to your manager. If you haven't finished it and you want to spend more time, you could press save as draft, and that will save your work so far, but you will always need to press the submit button to send it on to your manager. So the process then continues. The team member submits, the manager receives it and reviews it, and then your manager will book in a meeting with you to discuss your progress. And these should ideally be done face to face. So if you're not a manager, you can stop watching now because your part has been played. If you are a manager, keep watching because now you need to find out what to do for yourself next. With manager reviews, we always advise you to do this during the meeting with your team member. It makes it so much easier to discuss and have the conversation while you're together. But if you really needed to, you can complete it and save as draft and then submit it after the meeting. But we think that will take you longer. How does it work for you? Very similar. You will get an email to say that somebody on your team has completed a review and you now need to look at it. There's that red circle again, and it tells you inside there in the orange box, go to your team's reviews. When you click the page, you'll visit the home page. Again, this one's mine, yours will be personalized to you. And you can see here in the red box, it's telling you that it's time to go and fill and submit performance reviews. You'll also notice that in the right-hand corner, there's a box called Split View. Split View is very useful for you to be able to see what your employee has rated themselves alongside what you would like to rate them. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. So moving forward, you can see here that you are checking who you're doing the review for. In this case, it's for me, and you press start. As you can see, here's an example of the split screen. This one shows what the individual in your team has said about themselves. And on this version, it is the scores you are about to put in. You'll notice that in the top right, there's a box that says scroll simultaneously. Make sure this is on, so as you scroll through the appraisal, you will see both your employees and your own comments at exactly the same time. So now you know how to do it. Let's have a little look at what you need to do. This time, you'll see that the screen is very similar to what you've seen for an individual, but there are a couple of changes. This one is asking you, as you can see, to rate your employees' achievements, not your own. You're rating what they said. So you will use the 1 to 4 rating to score them against each of these questions. You'll see again, we'll then ask you, how have they delivered in role? And you will score them 1 to 4. You'll also ask them a little bit about how their performance has contributed. Same thing. Talk to them about delivery through values. Same thing again, rate them 1 to 4. And have a look at what they've said about their examples on the values to help you with that scoring. We'll ask the question about growth. And in this one, this is where you will detail what steps you've agreed with your employee. So if somebody wants to study for a qualification or go on a program or learn in a different way, this is a great opportunity for you to write down what you've agreed with them. Now you're almost done. So at this stage, you have a couple of options. You can save as draft, and this allows you to go back and to continue to work on it. You can submit, and that submits the system, but it doesn't show your employee. Or you can submit and share, which is what we advise, and that submits into the system and sends your completed version back to your employee to look at. Your next step is to simply repeat the process for each of your team members. Once you have done all of your team, you will no longer have anything assigned to you within your Bob, and that means that the appraisal process is finished. This then allows the people team to do calibration and dip testing to make sure that we are using a fair and consistent process. And that's it. So please utilize the resources, look at the PDF guide that we've made available, use the bite size and video resources if you need them. But this was how to ace your appraisal in 2024.